If you're using the Pro plan of Monday.com and are looking to manage multiple projects and time tracking, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you the exact setup that you need to manage multiple projects and to keep track of time per project and for all of the tasks that are part of a project. Hi, my name is Tara, and I'm the founder of Simple Day. We're a Monday.com partner, and over the past couple of years, we have helped hundreds of companies get the most out of Monday.com. If you need help with a custom implementation or training with how to use the platform, then please get in touch. Our contact information is in the description below. In order to show you how to manage multiple projects within Monday.com, I want to explain the theory about the setup that I'm going to show you. What we have is we have a high-level board, okay, which this is basically a place where you can see all your projects, like a bird's eye view of all of your projects. And then we have a low-level board for each project. So what that would mean is we have one board that kind of pulls all the data together about your projects, and each project has its own individual board. I do want to say that this setup is very good for specific types of companies, but not everyone should be using the setup. Unfortunately, I think too many people use this setup when they don't necessarily need an individual board per project. I'm going to put a link above in this video so that way you can learn about different structures of how to set up and organize your board. But this video is going to be for people that need one high-level board and then multiple low-level boards. A great example would be if you have really complicated projects, so you don't want them on the same board, so you would have a different board per project. Now, keep in mind that if you're in the Pro plan of Monday.com, there is a limitation of how many boards you can connect. So at the time that I'm recording this video, you can connect one high-level board to 20 low-level boards. Okay, so if you have more than 20 projects, then this setup's not going to work for you and you need to look for a different option. But if you have under 20 projects, then this is a great setup. And let's jump in and I'll show you exactly how it's set up. You can see over here that I have my projects overview board, which I called my high level board. And these are my projects. For the sake of this video, I have two main projects. One is to build out a website, and the second is to plan a company events. You can see that I have some basic columns, a status, who the manager is, and a timeline. And then we have connected board columns, which we're going to get to in a minute, because this is probably one of the trickiest things for people that are using Monday.com. So this is our high-level board, and then we have two low-level boards that you can see over here. This is a board where we actually keep track of the tasks that we're doing for the projects. So the project board is high-level, again, like basic things for an overview, and the project boards are the specific tasks that you need to do for a specific project. Now, one of the amazing things about Monday is that you have these connected board columns. And what we're doing is we're taking all of the tasks on the low-level board and connecting them to the high-level board. So let me show you how that works. You can see over here that I have a column called the connected board column, and it's connected to both of these different boards, okay? So for my build website project, what I would want to do is choose from project number one, because that's my first project. I'm going to choose all of my tasks here, okay? So here you can see I'm simply just choosing some of my tasks. And now I see all of my tasks. So all of my tasks are connected in a connected board column. And then over here, I have a summary of the statuses, okay? This is called a mirror column. What this does is it's pulling data from the other board. This information doesn't really live here. That's why it's called a mirror. It's being mirrored from the project board to this board. I'm just going to show you here. You can see that we have two done tasks, right? If I go to the project one board, you can see here I have two done tasks. And you can see the breakdown of the tasks. This is the status column that was pulling in the status of all of the tasks to the high-level board. Now on this board, you can see that I also have a connected board column, and this is just showing me which project I'm connected to. This is called a two-way connection, when I can see the information on both boards that I am connecting to. There also is something called a one-way connection, which would be that I would connect two boards, but I would only see the information on one board. So now let's go back to our projects board. And you can see that over here for this first project, I have all my tasks connected and I can see the status. Now we can do the same thing with project number 2. So here I just have to change the filter to be on project number 2. And I can do the exact same thing. I'm just going to add all of the tasks. And now you can see that they're all connected. They're based on the status of the tasks. These obviously look a little bit different, but basically everything's connected to the corresponding project. Now, let's talk about time tracking. In this board, this project board, I actually have 2 ways to track time, just because I see people like different things. So I just want to present you with both options. The first is an actual time tracking column. This is a column within Monday.com. It's called time tracking. If you want to start tracking time, you just click on it. When you're done, you can stop it. And then if you click on it, you can see a log of all of your time. I can also add a session manually, or if I need to edit this, I can just edit it. And it over time will add all of the time for this specific task that I am tracking. I also just added a numbers column because sometimes people just like to have a number and they just added a number. But when we're tracking tasks for a project, so each task over here is an item, and we're tracking the time through one of these columns, but we're tracking the time per task. Now, remember, this is connected to the high-level projects board. When I go to the projects board, you can see that I brought in the estimated time and the actual time. So I didn't add any time, so I'll go back and do that in a sec. But you can see that here we estimated 17 hours on this project, and then I'll be able to see how much we actually spent. So let's go back and edit this. And I'm just going to change this to be, instead of 11:36, I'll change this to be 9:36. And you can see here that 2 hours was tracked. Now, when I go back to my project board, so you can see that my total estimate was 17 hours, and we already spent 2 of those hours. The next thing that I would do, honestly, is also add a formula column, because then you can take the total estimated time minus the actual time and then see if you have spent too much time on this project or not enough. Now, the next thing that I want to point out is this column over here called progress tracking. This personally is one of my favorite columns within Monday. I think it's totally underutilized, but I think it is a great column that is really helpful in understanding where projects are holding. Because remember, if we go over here, if we hover, okay, we can see it's 40% done and it's 40% not started and then 20% working on it. But sometimes I don't want to hover and I just want to see a number. And that's what this progress tracking does. Now, this project tracking is only based on this status column. So on this board, it really doesn't make any sense because it's either 100% completed or not completed at all. However, if we take this information and see it on the high-level board, then we're going to be able to see the total progress of the project. Now, I'm going to use this to show you how I can add a new mirror column to this board. So we already have the connected board column, and now I need to add a mirror. So what I can do is I can click on these 3 dots, click on Settings, Customize Connect Boards, and add a mirror column. You also can go into the column center and choose a mirror column. And I need to choose which column I want from both of my connected boards. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to add project tracking, and you're going to see that it's automatically going to add it in both because it needs to be the same column type. So now visually you can see this project is 40% completed and this is 20% completed. I just like it because I think it's like a little bit of an easier view that you can easily see where your project is holding. So just to summarize, what we have is we have a high-level board, 2 low-level boards that are connected with connected board columns. Once you have those connected board columns, you can push data back and forth. So you can essentially manage multiple projects by seeing this high-level overview and then individual boards to see your specific projects. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about how to use connected boards, there is a link in the video that you can watch next on how exactly to set up a connected board column. I'll see you in the next video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and remember to subscribe to receive tips and tricks on how to use Monday.com. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.